I've never seen such a bizarre requirement. A man must spend $300,000 in 30 days, or he won't inherit $300 million. Keep in mind, this is in the United States in 1985, and even today, many people would struggle to spend that much. So, what will the man do next? This unlucky man is named Brewster, and he was a minor league baseball player. Although his skills weren't great, his team was one of the worst. But he had a wonderful dream of becoming a member of the national team. One day, Brewster got incredibly lucky and won a game. While celebrating at a bar with his friend, Fatty, two female fans approached them. Just as he was about to take the female fans to discuss life, their boyfriends showed up. Not only did they not get to discuss life, but both ended up in jail. The judge demanded a $3,000 bail, and the coach immediately fired them. At this moment, a stranger came over, paid their bail, and took them to the big city of New York. It turns out that just a month ago, his long-lost uncle passed away. His uncle was a famous billionaire in America, with cash assets exceeding $300 million. Since he never had children, Brewster became the sole heir. To inherit the $300 million, his uncle set a challenge. Brewster must spend $300,000 in 30 days, leaving no assets by the end. He can hire anyone but must get value for money, can't buy things to give away, can't buy art to destroy, and can't tell anyone about this. Breaking any of these rules means he won't get a single cent of the $300 million. Considering Brewster's situation, his uncle also prepared a consolation clause. He could take $100,000 and forget about the challenge, but the $300 million would be managed by two fund managers. Although Brewster had never seen $100,000, being a man, he had a gambler spirit and preferred to take on the challenge of spending $300,000. The lawyer arranged to meet him at midnight on the 30th day. To track Brewster's every expense, the fund managers even assigned him an accountant named Xiaomei. Walking out of the room, Brewster was overjoyed. Seeing the $30 million in cash inside the vault, Brewster was stunned. Oh my gosh. Looks like my second uncle was serious. He immediately hired the person who brought him there as a senior photographer, with a salary of $10,000 a week. The bank manager told Brewster, if you deposit this money in the bank, we can offer you a high interest rate of 24%. How could that be? You help me keep the money and give me interest. I'm using your vault. I should pay you rent. How about $100,000 a month? The manager immediately agreed. Then, he hired all the bank's security staff, paying them the same as the president's bodyguards. On the street, he randomly hailed a taxi, offering $50 a week to make the driver his personal chauffeur. Xiaomei quickly reminded him, with that money, you could rent a luxury fleet. Right, go rent me a luxury fleet. Then, he invited everyone on the street to dinner. If you were given $300,000 and had to spend it all in 30 days, what would you do? This man took everyone to a 5-star hotel, where everything was not necessarily the best, but definitely the most expensive. 82 Lafayette as drinks, king crab and lobster to fill you up. In no time, he became a sensation in New York. His convoy could stretch 80 miles. Major radio stations scrambled to interview him. He even offered a $10,000 monthly salary to hire Fatty as the company's vice president to manage investments. Next, he rented a 5-star hotel. Originally, the rent was $100,000 a week, but he offered $100,000 for a month and paid in cash on the spot. Xiaomei's boyfriend is a very busy man, not only a lawyer but also involved in the Sierra Club, anti-nuclear movement, UNICEF, and is a feminist. She sees money as dirt and never drinks. But when Brewster casually offered $100,000 to sponsor her event, she not only happily drank but also started critiquing the room's facilities. Seeing how knowledgeable she was about room decor, Brewster gave her $250,000 to help renovate the house. Xiaomei's boyfriend also works under two fund managers. He asked for a month off to help Brewster renovate the house. The two fund managers agreed to his request. The condition was that he had to report every move of Brewster. To quickly squander the money, Brewster specifically invested in unreliable ideas and concepts, like transporting icebergs from the Arctic to the Sahara Desert and then selling ice cubes to farmers in the desert. Whichever team kept losing, he would bet heavily on them to win. Whichever stock kept plummeting, he would invest heavily and buy in bulk. He rented his former team at a high price to play against the top team in the country. Although it was less than a 20-minute drive, he used a helicopter to bring the players over and rented them rooms in a 5-star hotel, each player having their own room. Next came the casual training. Hearing that collectible stamps were valuable, he spent $1,250,000 on the most expensive resale stamp and sent it out as a regular stamp. The fund manager felt he might succeed in the challenge, so he brought in Xiaomei's boyfriend to cause trouble. Soon, his iceberg project was bought at a high price, his plummeting stocks increased tenfold, and the team he bet on never lost a game again, as if they were on steroids. These investments not only didn't lose a penny but also earned him several million. After days of hard work, it was like going back to square one overnight. His funds even exceeded $300,000, and his friends were thrilled, thinking Brewster was a genius. But he was about to go crazy. What kind of world is this? Having money and not being able to spend it. Xiaomei was puzzled, wondering why making so much money was more upsetting than losing it. Have you ever seen a car accident handled like this? Brewster had just gotten into his newly bought sports car when it was rear-ended with a bang. Not only did Brewster not ask for compensation, but he also generously gave the other party a check for $300,000, urging them to go to the hospital for a checkup. The other party happily drove away quickly, afraid of being a second too late. Brewster regretted it. It turned out Brewster was completing a challenge where he had to spend $300,000 in 30 days to qualify for an inheritance of $3 million. Xiao Mei didn't understand his actions and walked away angrily. Brewster went to a bar to drown his sorrows, buying everyone a bottle of wine worth $11,000 each. After several days of splurging, he finally managed to spend a significant amount. That day, Little Fatty brought him some good news again. He had secretly used the company's money to invest and helped him earn over $10 million. Little Fatty and the others were overjoyed, but Brewster was about to go crazy. He was completely stunned because there wasn't much time left, and his assets had exceeded $30 million. After everyone left the room, he saw the mayoral election. People were dissatisfied with both candidates. When he realized that running for mayor was very costly, he had a new idea and immediately joined the race. His campaign slogan was for everyone not to vote for him. Major media outlets began reporting on this, and Brewster's support rate skyrocketed. To ensure people wouldn't elect him, he started swearing on camera and even acted bizarrely. He spent money to buy all the front pages of newspapers, every outdoor ad space in New York City, and even all the primetime slots on New York City's radio stations. On camera, he just drank, bragged, and chatted with everyone. To spend the money quickly, he even paid double the price to buy people's votes to ensure they wouldn't vote for anyone. The more he did this, the more people supported him, thinking that such a mayor was more down to earth. If elected, he would have a $60,000 annual salary, which would be considered an asset and would mean he failed the challenge. At the long-awaited game, he announced his withdrawal from the election on the spot and successfully spent all the money that night. His account balance was finally zero. The next day, he put on his old clothes and walked out of the hotel. As he happily entered the fund building, Xiaomi's boyfriend came over and said that when renovating the house, someone returned $20,000 in rent. Brewster was about to go crazy. With less than 3 minutes left, there was no time to spend this money. Brewster had to admit defeat in the challenge. Just as Brewster was about to sign and give up, Xiaomi's boyfriend revealed his challenge and his trick. Xiaomi rushed into the room, telling Brewster not to sign. Brewster was very angry when he found out. A slap landed on Xiaomi's boyfriend. Xiaomi's boyfriend said, "I'm going to sue you for assault and take you to court." This gave Brewster the idea that if he was going to court, he needed to hire a good lawyer for himself. Just as the clock struck the final second, Xiaomi quickly signed the receipt and handed it to the lawyer next to her. Finally, in the last second, he successfully completed the challenge and inherited his second uncle's $3 billion fortune. From then on, he and Xiaomi lived a shamelessly happy life. The movie, Brewster's Millions, ends here. It's an old film from 1985. If you had a second uncle like this who required you to complete such a challenge to inherit a huge fortune, how would you spend the money? Enough said. I'm going to ask my dad if we have a long-lost second uncle. Alright, if you want to see more great movie reviews, please follow me. Bye-bye.